This is Inside Indiana Business Radio for the afternoon of Wednesday, July 3rd, 2024. I'm Sarah Simcox. Echo Solutions, a subsidiary of Fishers-based Land Betterment, is partnering with Evansville-based agriculture technology startup Anu to build autonomous fresh produce growing systems inside of refurbished shipping containers. Land Betterment President Kirk Taylor says that pure produce containers feature scaled-up versions of Anu's aeroponic technology.
We can fit 12 rotating towers in a 20-foot shipping container that are about 7 feet tall. You can literally grow any type of fruit or flowering plant or leafy green in any geographic or climate condition, which is a complete game changer.
The companies are targeting regional grocery stores, nonprofits, and education institutions as potential customers. Lebanon-based Gilman Do It Best Home Centers is adding to its Indiana portfolio with the acquisition of Gecker Building Supplies, a building materials supplier with locations in North Vernon and Seymour. Financial terms of the deal are not being disclosed, and Gilman said it plans to add nearly a dozen jobs at the two locations. At a ceremony last week, Andretti Global celebrated the topping out of the first phase of its 400,000 square foot headquarters in Fishers. Crews placed the final steel beam on the $200 million facility, which will house all of Andretti's racing operations and R&D for Andretti Technologies. From the number one source for Indiana business news, this is Inside Indiana Business Radio.
IBJ Media, Inside Indiana Business, and the Indiana Economic Development Corporation invite you to the Engage Indiana series, presented by CareSource, Indiana University, and Old National Bank. With an unrelenting focus on growing Indiana's economy, we'll dive into each region's unique challenges and distinct opportunities for growth. 9 regions, one goal. Indiana's bold future starts here. Discover more and register at ibj.com/engage.
The Indiana Office of Community and Rural Affairs recently selected Connect LaGrange County as the finalist for the agency's Stellar Pathways program. Formerly the Stellar Communities Initiative, the new iteration will award nearly $13 million for projects prioritizing cross-regional collaboration and economic development among rural communities in Indiana. Emily Fincher with the LaGrange County Economic Development Corporation said their focus is on projects to increase quality of life and quality of place.
What we communicated in our letter of intent was that everything here is going to be collaborative, and we want it all to be transformative. We want the community involved. We want the key stakeholders in the communities involved. And we want to know how the money can best be spent to make a big difference here. We're not planning to lose, but either way, we're going to have this strategic investment plan that we're going to do work on over the next 4 or 5 months.
The other finalists include 1 Dearborn County, Wabash County, and Warren County region. 2 winners will be selected in January. A developer is suing the city of Lebanon for more than $25 million, accusing its leaders of acting in bad faith and torpedoing plans for a technology park to instead focus efforts and water capacity on the LEAP Lebanon Innovation and Research District. In a lawsuit filed last month in the U.S. District Court of Southern Indiana, South Carolina-based Realty Link alleges the city prioritized the water needs of the Indiana Economic Development Corporation's massive LEAP project over its Cedars of Lebanon Tech Park proposal, even after the city made commitments to the firm amid ongoing concerns about the city's water constraints. In its lawsuit, Realty Link said it calculates the damages as exceeding $25 million, noting it lost more than $3.3 million on the purchase of the property, an additional $5 million in profit from the first phase of the proposed Cedars project, and various costs tied to engineering, design, and due diligence processes. A Zionsville paramedic is bringing back the old-fashioned house call with a modern spin through his startup that works in an emerging area of healthcare called community paramedicine. Shane Hardwick founded Medic Home Care after serving as a community paramedic for nearly a decade, going to patients' homes on a regular basis for health checkups and noticing the difference it had made in their lives.
When you're seeing a 63% reduction in ER visits out of your patient population, that's a win. That's a big win. We're the eyes and ears of the doctor in the patient's home. We can get a fresh set of vital signs, blood sugar, A1C, any number of labs that we can draw off. And we're identifying these problems ahead of time by lab draws and vital signs and identifying slip, trip, and fall hazards within the house. But we're there every week, and we're managing, and we're keeping an eye and doing small course corrections now so that it doesn't wind up being a big health crisis later.
Medic Home Care currently focuses on central Indiana, but Hardwick hopes to expand the service to all 92 counties. New Indiana State University President Mike Goddard is this week's guest on the Business and Beyond podcast with Gary Dick, presented by PNC, a weekly conversation with high-profile Hoosiers in business, sports and entertainment, and beyond. Available now from your favorite podcast provider. I'm Sarah Simcox for Inside Indiana Business Radio on Demand.